Sweet. So we're recording and it's the 26th of July, 2022. And I'm first going to ask, how are you today? How was your day?
I had a good day. Nothing too exciting, I guess. So that was good.
Any single moment of simple happiness you want to share?
Well, this is a moment of difference. After I sat down here tonight, and I've already turned off my hall light or the entrance light and closed the door. The door peeked open and somebody's looking in. And I said, "Do you want something?" And she just looked, never said a word to me, and closed the door. So that was an unusual.
A moment of difference. Thank you for sharing that. It feels very sweet to feel that. Yeah. So I wanted to tell you what I did yesterday.
Okay.
And I think a Friday or Saturday, I told you that I was happy that even though I can't go through the geriatric assessment until I'm 80, I can do a muscle assessment. I was going to do that on Monday. So Dimi helped me sign up and I went in for the muscle assessment. And it's in the like the geriatric area. So, and she showed me 3 doctors. She said, "Which doctor do you want to do it with?" Like, there's no difference. If I look at the 3, they, I have nothing, I have no different response to anyone. So, okay, how about the 3rd one? So I picked the 3rd one. And I go in, and then the nurse calls my name to give me this questionnaire. But when she sees me, she's a little taken aback. And I'm used to that. So I said, "Oh, okay, well, I probably can fill it. It's all in Chinese." I said, "I probably can fill it out, but I'll ask you any questions I don't have." And she was like, "Oh, okay." So I took it and I did stuff. And eventually she asks me to go with her to this other area. So we go and there's some other kind of a little assessment thing. So I waited a long time and watched people there. And I watched, it was geriatric, like, body things. How, can you sit down and stand up 5 times in a row without holding anything? And so I'm watching all these, so that's nice. And the volunteer there, I see my form says, "How tall am I and how much do I weigh?" And I said, "I don't have an idea. I don't have a clue." So the volunteer said, "Oh, I can do that part." So she measured my height and my weight, and I'm 2 inches.
How tall were you?
2 inches shorter than I think that I am. I think I'm 5'5" and it's 5'2". So it's okay. So that's going on. That's good to know. 2 inches shorter than I long time ago was. Okay. And I weigh the same I've weighed for like 45 years. I weigh 130. Okay. So then I go, she says, the nurse comes in and says, "Okay, doctor's ready to see you." So she takes me back to the doctor. And I walk in and the doctor also looks at me, just looks, "Have a seat. What's the problem that brought you in here today?" I said, "Oh, no problem. I'm interested in, like, the geriatric care that Taiwan has. And now found out I qualified for this muscle assessment, but not for the geriatric assessment." And eventually I told him I'm a scientist and I really like baseline information. And I also like self-improvement. So I like to see places for self-improvement. So he's like, "Okay. And do you have any pain right now in your body anywhere?" And I went, "No." "How do you sleep?" "Oh, well." "How do you eat?" Yeah, no problem." "How do you, bowel movements?" Yeah, fine. So he's watching me and he seems to be enjoying the conversation. Eventually he says, because he heard, that's when I said I used to be in a university. And he went, "Oh," and he got excited just a little bit. He's a great doctor, but these words slipped out of his mouth. He said, "Oh, you could help me." "Oh, I don't mean me. I mean, you could help other people." And I said, "Oh, I'd be much more interested in helping you. Like, go ahead. Tell me what you were going to say that would help you." He goes, "Oh, I don't mean me." It's like, yes, he does, but he can't say it. "Okay, I don't mean me, but if you could write an article or something, or just tell people what you do, it's such a different perspective from pretty much anyone who walks in their door. Like you look at least 10 years younger than anyone who walks in this door, and talking to you for just a moment, you just have this whole different perspective on life. And I think everyone could benefit from it. And I went, yeah, well, who, how? Like, I don't think everyone can benefit from it. Only the people who want to benefit from it can benefit from it.
That's right.
So I think he can benefit from it, and I don't care what his benefit is. He's fun, so I'd be happy to do something with it. Anyway, so he starts telling me, he starts giving me ideas. He said, well, we could also do this other thing right now. We could also do this other thing. And if you like, we can do the geriatric assessment. I went, oh, that's fantastic, because I figured I have to wait till I'm 80 to do that. And I want to see what it is. I want to, I want a baseline whenever it's a good time. So yeah, he ordered me all kinds of things. And then in 2 weeks, I go back and talk to him about, everything that I did, just get an integrated view on it. And I said, when I come back, I want to hear, yeah, you tell me. I told him like 3 or 4 times, you tell me where to publish. You tell me who, where you think this would be impactful, and what in the world you think I should say that would be impactful, because I'm happy to do it. I just need some guidance. I won't do it by myself. Yeah, so he was fun. That's the, and then
You picked a good doctor.
well, thank you for saying that, because then I went in to do the physical. I went back to the physical assessment place, and they did things like measure how long it took me to walk from one place to another, and how was my balance, and can I stand up and sit down 5 times, and how long does it take me to stand up and sit down 5 times in a row? And they measured my calf diameter in both legs, and they measured my strength in both arms. And this is when I learned this arm made 24 on their scale, 24 something. And the woman said, 18. If someone gets above 18, we tell them they're doing very well. And you had 24. Then she gives me this hand, and I do it, and I make like 18.2. So I've had surgery on the shoulder, and I figure, look at that. I'm neglecting strength in this arm. After getting the surgery, I need to work on that. So they're going to do the assessment again, I think, in 2 weeks when I come back. They're going to do some of this stuff again. And so I'm working on the strength in this arm so I can do better in 2 weeks. Oh, and the physical, the one who did the geriatric test said, she said something like, how were you so lucky to get that doctor? He's a great doctor. I said, oh, I think he is. When you say, how was I so lucky? What do you use as standards for a good doctor? And she said, well, he's very logical, and no one who talks to him thinks they have a problem. He doesn't speak to people as if, oh, you have a problem. It's like, yeah, well, maybe that's a reason I resonate with him. I really liked, he was a nice guy. He was funny too, because he says, here are all the things I can schedule for you. Have you ever had a pap smear? Like, yeah. Would you like to have another one? Sure. Have you ever had a mammogram? No. Would you like to have one? No. And then he looks at me, and I get, okay, I heard they hurt. And basically almost no one, there's anything that shows up. Okay, I say, okay, well, I'm up for doing this. Do you know how much they hurt? And he said, oh, I don't know, but yeah, I think they do hurt. I said, well, how long do they hurt? He goes, I don't know. And he calls the nurse. He says, can you tell me about the pain in a mammogram? And she goes, I never had one. So we have a little group moment, because, and then he says, well, obviously I haven't had one. And he's sincere when he says that. He's very, obviously I haven't had one. It's like, no, I guess you haven't. So we all laughed. So it was a lovely trip to the doctor yesterday. And they didn't do the original muscle assessment. They said, oh, why don't you wait till you come back in 2 weeks and do them all at once? Just do them all at once. So I think I have the strength things again. So yeah, so that I'm interested to hear what he thinks would be useful and who he thinks would be willing to listen to, like anything where I could be helpful. So that's my story I wanted to put in I wanted to record.
Well, now, ask me how much they hurt.
Oh, mother, how much does a mammogram hurt?
Only instantaneously.
So is it like a second or less than a second? Okay. And
it's probably not more than a second.
In what way do they hurt? What happens in a mammogram?
It's a pressure.
It's a
as they
puncture?
lay it out, your breast out, so that they can get a good view. So it's nothing you can't deal with very simply. It's no reason to not have a mammogram.
So thank you. Yeah, thank you for your opinion. And I missed a word. So when does it hurt?
While they're doing it, because they have to lay the breast out to get it kind of flattened.
Mm-hmm. So it's just pressure.
It's pressure.
And is it this way or this way?
They do both. Well, no, they take the breast and lay it out flat.
Against your ribs. Against your ribs, right?
The machine is under it, and then they get different views of it.
Okay. So it's just squished, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing that you can't deal with.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly no reason not to have it if you need it.
Well, I don't even need it, but I've never had it. So, and I'm getting a baseline assessment. So I was happy to say yes in the end. It seemed like a silly reason to say no. Yeah. How long does the whole thing take?
Not long at all.
Like 5 minutes?
It would be done unless they have to go look for equipment or something.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
good.
If everything's there, you're just in and out.
Cool. Are there any particular tests that you've taken?
And she had to sit down, and then she takes a look at them to be sure that they're good pictures, know, before she lets you go.
Uh-huh. Oh, good.
She's looking to read them, but just that she has good prints for the doctor to read.
The quality, yeah. How many times have you had a mammogram?
I used to get it I don't know how many times, quite a few.
Okay, cool. That's good. So are there any tests that you've had that you thought were particularly interesting in what you learned?
No. You mean mammogram tests?
Any kind of test, any kind of physical test.
I've had surgery twice from things found on the mammogram, but they were benign.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I have some kind of granulation. Years ago in college at the health exam, she said, okay, you can feel these things here like granulation. She says, nothing to be concerned about, but you do feel them, right? And I said, yeah. So she goes, okay, you need to know that that's nothing to worry about. That's a type of breast. It's like, cool, nothing to worry about. Yeah, that's a good thing to know. So what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, the doctor was wonderful. Oh, here's something that's going to happen starting right now. I think this is going to be interesting. Every 2 months, someone will call me and ask me how I am.
Oh.
So here I am, 66 years old.
I know what you're getting started here.
Yeah. They're going to ask me how I'm eating. And yeah, they said, you want to sign up for this? And it's like, well, I kind of want to learn what Taiwanese have as an experience. So yeah. So that's going to be interesting. How are you? I just came back from a 10-mile bike ride. Oh. So yeah, I don't know what will happen next, but I enjoy the doctor, and I'm looking forward to talking with him about all the tests in a couple weeks. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like a good thing that you got started.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about it. And now I can, because I can tell other people now. I've had the experience myself. Unlike the nurse, and unlike friends who are wondering about it when they get older, I can say, listen, I did the whole thing, and here's what I learned. They start treating you like a little baby in the in the physical assessment area, but I think they do that because they see so many people during the day where that's a proper attitude to take. Okay, let's see how that goes. I'm going to turn off the recording. Thank you for letting me record this.